Hello, everybody. Welcome to Endgame Sensei. This is where I give a beautiful position to two chump IMs and they mangle it. Now, a big part of this is you're just going to have to accept some pain going in because there's going to be some nasty moves played. Okay? Just accept it. It'll be better for all of us. All right? Now we have a classic position in front of us. This is from Shereshevsky and Alekine playing black. The question is, does black have anything to play for? Now, you could say to yourself, oh, it's just an equal position. I encourage you never to think that way. A lot of people see an endgame like this, they're just like, oh, it's an equal position. No, there's a lot of interesting stuff going on here. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to have two chump IMs play this out. Let's just get an immediate intuitive reaction, though, from David and Kostya, in terms of what you think is going on in this position.
Okay, well, this didn't help me at all last week. This is the second week in a row where I recognized the position, and I think I have some idea of what's going on. Didn't help me at all last week, but I did think that this was a game of Alekhine's with black from Shereshevsky, and I do think that Alekhin eventually won the game. And it's kind of a battle between central space and the isolated rook pawn is black's disadvantage. I don't want to have too much like confirmation bias off of black eventually winning the game. I don't think white should be too terrible here, but I'm going to say maybe like a small advantage for black.
Okay. Kosi, what's your gut on this?
Yeah, I would say black is a little bit better, mainly just because it seems like black has some more space in the center. And I think that black's bishop to me is a little bit better on this particular board. So small advantage for black.
Okay, so this is what we're going to do. I'm not sure we're going to, me and David actually have to go a little early today, so it's not clear we're going to be able to do everything, but we're going to get this party started immediately, and they're going to cut off their mics, and we're going to watch them mangle this. All right? If we have time, we're going to see the maestro in action at the end. Here we go. Boom. And then I'm going to pop this up here. Oh, now Mr. Kostya has to grab it. He's hosting today. He has to grab that thing.
Wait, grab what? Yeah, I have the game. I have the live game.
You have to grab it. Yeah. All right, here we go. All right, so they're going to be muted, and I'm going to talk this out. Now, I think the position has got to be called equal, and it's one of the just beautiful things, though, about this game is that black had a plan for how to play it for a win, right? And I think it's a massive skill to just be able to try to squeeze somebody in a position like this. I think, by the way, white's intuition probably was that his bishop was kind of a cool piece on h6, but of course now you can see after f5 that it's not really doing anything, and in fact might become victimized by a later king f7 g6. Might become victimized even by some kind of f4 locking him out. Yeah, and I think white has several moves. Personally, I'm always drawn to putting the pawns on the opposite color of the bishop. So just my intuitive reaction here would be to play f3. If you play g3, then later you have to realize that black, if he puts a pawn on e4, at least he has good control with the pawns controlling the light squares and the bishop controlling the dark squares. And maybe definitely a feature of this position is that the black king can claim to be better than the white king, right? Rook e1. All right. Now, Proust always spices it up. He's always going to spice it up. This is probably playable. Yeah. And one of the things about bishop f6 is there was an argument to put it on d6 because eventually you're probably going to want to play e4, and you might want the option of playing f4 as well. And because see here, when on bishop f6, if you eventually play e4, then it's just going to be hitting the nut on c3, right? So I think if I was black, I mean, I don't know. These guys, you know, you're playing the end game. It's a little bit intuitive. Bishop f6 feels safer and more natural than bishop d6, of course, because you're keeping your rook open. But I assume Pruse's intention here was to play rook ad1, which is fine. Now, one of the things about that could cause white problems is like white should rightly be a little bit afraid of f4 at some point trapping the bishop, right? I think at the moment it's not even coming close to working. But like, for example, my move on move 1, f3, I would have to calculate f4, and my intention was to play g3 then, for example. But I would want to calculate that just to make sure I was okay. In the game, white is terrorized by the threat of f4, and as we say, the threat becomes greater than the execution. He played like g3, which is the wrong color for the pawn. Nordovich is asking, can you flip the board? Well, the reason it's from Black's perspective is that our champion, Alekine, is playing the black pieces. So that's why it's flipped like that. Yeah. Very hot dojo talks today, my friend. Very hot. And one of the things that's interesting to me about it is it's one of the few times in my life where I have no idea why Bruce is thinking so long here. You'd think if he played rook e1, his intention would be rook ad1. Anyway, so there's a few times in my life where like people, whoa, Bruce, dude, what's going on, boss? Bruce always makes his life more complicated than it needs to be. He's always making it more complicated, boss. Chess and life are not this complicated, Bruce. Oh my God. Oh, the mangle jangle of Mr. Brucey Woosey. What is happening here? I don't know about Bruce's soul, man. He might not have a soul. That's an important thing to recognize about Mr. Bruce. The man might not actually have a soul. Oh my God. Oof. I'm going to finish my thought, then we're going to talk about G4. I'm just going to be staring at this move, G4. Okay. Anyways, right? Like most news events, they kind of pass you by. The degree of separation, very, you know, it's a long way away for anybody when they're talking about, I don't know, some war or whatever, you know. Actually, the Ukrainian thing, I definitely had some connection to just because I knew people in the chess world that like had to pick up an AK-47. But in any case, this cheating scandal, I know all these people, man. You know, Neiman played on the same team as me at the Mechanics back in the day. Dlugi, I've played a couple times, knew about him, you know, forever, yada, yada. So it's like, wow, I know all these people. All right, now, Bruce, listen up, buddy. Man, you make your life complicated. You know, is it because you're a communist, dog? Is that why life has to be so complicated? So let me just say, now you're trying to say some kind of thing that you lock the bishop in on h6, or h8, but you've locked your bishop on h6, boss, and you just put your pawn on the wrong color. And Black's king now has a very natural spot on f5, dog. What are you doing? Man. Do I know Dlugi personally? I wouldn't say personally, but you know, he's a little older than me and he's been in the chess world. You know, so the degrees of separation, you know, it's kind of like, you know, I probably saw the guy the first time around 1989 and I saw him most recently, I think that's 2019. And he was at the US Junior where I was doing commentary. And yeah, like he was Demon's coach, you know. All right, F3. Now, how bad is it for Mr. Bruce? That's the question I have. It's definitely bad, but how bad is it? Maybe it's not so bad. Because it is true that Black's bishop also needs a little love here. I think it's bad. I think it's bad. At the bare minimum, it's not clear how Prusy Woosey improves his position, whereas black can definitely play king f5 and dream about e4 at some point. Point of e4 would just be to free the bishop. King e2. I'm not sure I comprende. Now, yeah, because now we can play king f5 and then we can hang e4 over white's head. Now, maybe his intention is rook d8, rook d8, rook d1, but ooh, that's getting real dicey. Imagine king f5, snip, snop, rook d1, snip, snop, so the white king's on d1, and then black plays e4. Dangerous. Dangerous, my friends. And I think Mr. Proust had some dream when he imagined this position that he would have an outside pass pawn or something like h4, h5. Okay, interesting move, rook d6. Do I like this move? I do not know. I don't know if I like this move. Maybe. I'm not sure I love this move, rook d6. Seems like it gives white easier time with like snip, snop, rook d1. I guess you got to go rook d8, and then c4, and then, you know, our piece is more passive than it wanted to be. Rook d1 seems fine. Gritty Pan says, after the amnesty, would you still issue second chances, or would you ban them after one time cheating online? Well, so here, the whole point of the amnesty is that moving forward, you establish more significant cheating punishments, right? That's the idea of the amnesty. And we can discuss about what those punishments should be, but it's definitely not this soft touch with Danny writing gentle emails to the cheater being like, hey, man, I know this must be very hard for you. I mean, honestly, I admire those emails. They're actually really well written, but it wouldn't be like that anymore. That's the idea. I think black really hosed himself with rook d6. Kostya, man, making a muck of this thing. Because now rook d1, you got to go passive, rook d8, and then c4 or rook d5, and I don't know what you're doing, boss. King d3. Now, again, Proust is pushing his luck. But maybe it's clever. Okay, so that's Proust is always going to go for the most ambitious move. Okay, rook d1 was like a sensible move. King d. This one I don't know, man, because you got to answer to d5, and you have to answer to king f5. And yeah, blacks. I don't. Why wouldn't Kostya? I mean, Bruce, just why not rook d1? Boss. Oh, making his life so complicated. That's like maybe what it's like to be a communist in today's world, dude. You know? It's like, sure, you could think whatever you want, but you're making your life so much more complicated. Oh, man, your life just becomes so complicated as a communist, man. Oh, all the questions. All right. Now, yeah, here Kostya's thinking about this. Kostya's got plenty of time. Hackin, thank you for subscribing with Brian. We need some subs, dude. You know, our Twitch, we kind of, you know, we still do the Twitch, but we haven't been pushing like membership drives and that kind of stuff. We mostly, you know, I'm doing like lame-o game analysis, for example, that I'm sure no one's interested in. And so, you know, we're not pushing for heavy numbers. Now, if I was playing a quick game here, just the intuitive move would be king f5, but Kostya is calculating d5. There it is, king f5. Well, you knew you were going to do it, buddy. Why'd you think so long about it, huh? Okay, here comes c4. Now, why the rook is not on d1, nobody knows. Nobody knows why the rook isn't on d1. And b5 is a fighting move, boss. There we go. So let's just talk. The idea of b5 is really just to activate the rook on a8. Yeah. This difficult choice for white. In particular, one problem is if you play rook c1, not only do you have to worry about bc and d5, but you got to worry about rook c8. Now, cb, we got to believe in black now. We just have to believe in black because black has a touch on a2, which Bruce promptly ignores. And we got d5, e4 in the mix. Now, what is Bruce saying? He's saying, I'm going to go maybe win your bishop. Okay. Now, this is a moment to... I don't believe in this at all from Mr. Bruce, by the way. So d5 looks plausible. And rook a2 might be playable, but d5 is like... So on d5, by the way, white has only one hope of surviving this terrible position, and that's to win the bishop on h8. d5, however, will always allow me to escape because I'll always have e4 to get out. So if rook a2, rook c8, then white has a dream of winning the bishop. Even then, I'm not sure exactly what's going on, by the way. But d5, and then I guess Mr. Bruce is hoping that rook c5 will save him. I don't know if it will, boss. I don't know if it's going to save you, boss. Maybe it'll save you. Okay. Now, this is where Kostya needs a good move. This is a calculation. Now, it's like Kostya's done well to get to this position. Well, I didn't like his rook d6 move at all, but he's done reasonably well to get to this position. Kostya, I'm not going to give you any credit for getting this position. Bruce is the one who did it to himself. Okay. Let's talk about brass tacks here. d5, rook c5. The issue for Mr. Tissue is then that rook c5 is maybe a question. Now, d5, rook c5, king e6 is fully a thought, right? And we have two ideas there. One is rook a2, and the other is rook a4, intending e4. We would love to achieve d5, e4, right? So d5, rook c5, king e6 looks very unpleasant for black. For white. Very unpleasant. Actually, let's do a variation. d5, rook c5, king e6, rook b5. And then, if rook a2, white can dream about rook b8, and it's not simple. Okay, so Kostya's doing well to think, but this is truly a calculation moment. The other thing to see about that variation was d5, rook c5, king e6, rook b5, rook a4. Then white could play b4, stopping the business. All right, now rook e8, he is going to push e4. I like this move, actually. Yeah. So what is he going to do? He's going to say, look, maybe I don't achieve d5, e4, boss, but I am going to achieve e4. My bishop will be free, and my f pawn will be angry. Angry. Now, there is a problem with this move, namely rook c7. And then if you play e4, I can pawn takes rook f7, and then there's a problem in my casita. Also sad that our rook wasn't actually able to take a2. So rook c7, I have questions about it. What are we going to do on what is Kostya's intent after rook c7? One crazy idea, I don't like it, but one crazy idea would be rooks. It's weird, man. It's just weird. I was going to say e4, pawn takes king g4, but I mean, talk about highfalutin, right? What are you doing, boss? What are you doing? He's got some crazy idea. And Mr. Bruce, we know you're going to play Rook C7, so why haven't you done it yet, boss? Huh? Why haven't you played Rook C7? There it comes. Coast to coast, man. What is your idea, bud? Rook E8, dude. I mean, it has some cool ideas, but if you can't play E4, no entiendo why you're doing it, man. Uh-oh. This is where Kostya might fall down a dark hole. If you play something sad like King G6, then the white king says, thank you very much. I'll play King E4. What have you done, boss? Okay. Now, let's think about this. The intention, what's weird is if your intention is D5, you still need an answer to Rook C5. Hey, does he have some D5, Rook C5? Okay, so look, white plays Rook C5, which was the same intention he had for D5 a move earlier, right? Is there an advantage for Kostya to have the rook on E8? That's our kind of key question right here. I'm not sure there is. Yeah, Kostya needs a good move here. I'm not sure I see it. If King E6, Rook B5. Okay, so here it comes. E4. Okay, he pre-moved. Look at that. That's millennials, dude. They can pre-move. Now, a normal person would play Rook D5. However, Bruce isn't normal, dude. He is normal divergent. And he's going to be thinking about Rook B5. There's Rook D5. And black is not, oh my gosh, Bishop E5 is really a move that's going for the gold. I'm not sure I believe in that move. What about just Bishop G7 now, dog? What's your intention? Aren't you losing the end game? I'm trying to count. To me, I see 4 pawns for white. I see 3 pawns for black. I don't see how that pawn on the F pawn advances after Bishop G7. Looks toast. Crucial thing about it. Does anyone see idea? Bishop G7. Well, Rook E5. Yeah, well, that's a normal move. And I think black might be drawing. Even there's he's probably drawing after Rook E5. But here, Bishop G7. How does he hold? How does black hold after Bishop G7? I don't see it, my friends. That looks like well, there might be some tricky way to draw that pawn endgame. But in general, we got the outside pass pawn, boss. We're the one, man. We're the one with the juice. So example, yeah, Bishop G7 looks god awful. Who are these people? The original intention, ChessDojo, was like, oh, we're gonna have these sparring positions, and we'll have Kostya and David just share their eminent wisdom of playing good positional chess. No, these guys are stinking up the dojo, man. Stinking up the dojo. All right, now Kostya needs some kind of special. C needs some special magic to draw this. And one of the problems is I don't even know what black's move is. I think you're just waiting for me to take on E5, which is a major bummer. Maybe let's say you force it with King E6 you can't do even because King E4. You could play Rook E3, King D2, then King E6. So let's imagine that Rook E3 to King E6. We snip everything off. I'm going to say it definitely looks lost. And the easy way to be would go A3, King F5, B3, King G5, A4, and you say goodnight. You say goodbye. Goodbye. King D2. Yeah, so that looks done. Kostya really stinking up the dojo over here, my friends. Sack the king, right? If they ever beat me in one of these endgame positions, man, I'd have to go to therapy. I have to go to therapy after that, man. I've never even been in therapy. I'm afraid of therapy, you know? I grew up in a lower middle class household that just thought that was for rich people. But if I lost to one of them in an endgame sensei position, man, oh, therapy. Yeah. All right, rook e5. Good night. So let's just double check L analysis. Rook e5, bishop e5, king e5, a3. And I don't see any way to stop b3, b4. b3, a4, excuse me. Do not play b3, because then black plays b4, and then we've really blown it. But play a3 first, boss. Yeah, a3, my friends. We can do the line again. A3, king f5. Like, what else are you going to do? You got to go try to take that pawn, right? A3, king f5, b3, king g5. There it is. And a4, because if black plays king g4, right? There's no way to get to g3 because of the big fat pawn. So white always has king e2. And white's winning the race on the other side. All right, should I tell him to resign? You can resign, boss. Let's play another game. Huh? Let's play another game, buddy. Let's end this trauma for me. I need to go to therapy just watching these games, my friend. Just having to watch this. Man, oh man. Eigen says, even I think the game is over. I'm going to get that match challenge ready. I'm going to get it ready here. So, chess.com, I talk a lot of smack, but they did give me the power to like force people to play games. It's pretty awesome, man. Like I could right now, I could start a match with Sombrero and somebody he might not want to be playing, you know? Yeah, the King D4 is clever, but it ain't doing it. H4, I assume, would have also won. And now we just play A4, say goodnight. H4 is fine too. Yep. So here we go. This time, Hello Kostya is going to be white. Imagine that Sombrero logs on to chess.com, right? This would be a great trick. He logs on to chess.com, and then all of a sudden, boom, this little window pops up, and all of a sudden he's playing Chess Latte a game. He doesn't know how it happened or anything, you know, but it's then me behind the curtain because I have that power. Would you like that, Sombrero, buddy? Would you like that, buddy, to face Chess Latte? Wake up, there it is, Turkey. The sun is out, you know, everything's nice. All of a sudden, boom, you got Chess Latte in your face, my friend. How do you like that, buddy? Huh? Did they resign yet? Oh my God. Oh, Kostya's stinking up the dojo, man. Stinking up the dojo. He's trying to like calculate some way to sniggle and wiggle his king into G3. Now, I think anything wins here. Yeah. And can we resign, boss? I'm gonna just write them. It's not resigning. Okay, gosh, this just unbelievable pain that's putting me through this. All right, so the safe move is King E1. Okay, that's the safe move. There it is, King E1. Just want to prevent King G3 F2. King obtains the blockading position. Our pawn on A4 is hungry. Hungry. Pawn on F3, no puedo mover, buddy. There it is. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. Let's do this here. And how is this gonna happen? All right, my friends, we're starting it again. Bam! Me and Bruce have to go a little early today. So, you know, we're going to get this on the record. I don't know if you guys know this, man, but Mr. Bruce, dude, he's getting another kid. Trace, dude. Trace. Oh, man. I got Dose. And let me tell you, Dose is a lot, man. Dose is a lot. And Mr. Bruce is getting Trace. Trace, man. That's a lot. So I don't know if we're going to even see Bruce anymore here at the dojo, man. It might just be over soon. Yep. Imagine Kostya having kids. Holy moly! I haven't asked him that. Maybe at some point we'll do a dojo talks and should be entitled "Should Kostya have kids?" I'll tell you this, Kostya, if you want to make GM, buddy, you better wait. Kids can wait. You tell that GF of yours, boss. You say, hey, listen, young lady, you better help me get GM because until I make it, no kids over here. No kids over here. Now, G3 is a mistake. Not a losing mistake, but it's a mistake. Because you're putting the pawns on the wrong color. And I believe that is what Znosko-Borovsky played in 1933 against Alehkine, or as we say in America, Alekine, or Aleoshin. Aleoshin is another version of that. Nge6, very good. Yeah. Now, the cool thing I'll say is if you're watching this on the rerun or in our YouTube vault, that, you know, sometimes we cover the game itself. Today, we're not going to have time, but that'll always be listed in the YouTube description below. And of course, many people will be playing this position out as part of the ChessDojo Training Program. And, you know, let me just say the cool thing about the ChessDojo Training Program is kind of seen here, namely, you're learning how to do a couple things, how to play endgame positions, also how to learn to play with a 30-second increment as you're going to get in a tournament. And you are playing somebody at your own level, right? So if you're in a, let's say, 1600 cohort, you're going to be playing somebody in that cohort. And so you're not measuring yourself up against like knowing the perfect moves. That's not what chess is anyway. You're measuring yourself against somebody at your level, right? And that's what these two, I feel like Bruce has, in general, gotten the better of Kostya in these endgame matches. Okay, now what's interesting about this? H5, very good. This is mildly similar to what happens in the game. And definitely now, Kostya is under some pressure. By the way, there is an ancient US chess school video that I did years ago where I showed this position. And I kind of played it out. And what I wanted them to get out of it is, first of all, just to not think that endgame positions are drawn. That's one of the most terrible things, and that you can press. And what I remember, Greg Jahada came on, and Greg Jahada is the good Wizard of Oz behind the US chess school, came on and was contended, you know, that white had absolutely no problems and yada yada. And I think at the very beginning the position has to be equal, but once you start making moves like G3, putting the pawn on the wrong color, it's gonna start looking like this, where all of a sudden now you got to wonder about black maybe getting an entrance into the position. By entrance I mean with the rook, and that's how it goes down in the game as well. Uh-oh, we're talking about we're talking, Seth is going Aleoshin. Oh yeah. Disney show called Aleoshin. It's about a teenager in California who likes to go surfing with her friends and busting Patrick Swayze's gang of bank robbing surfers. Okay, I like it. There's like a whole it's not interesting. There's a whole Patrick Swayze cult up there, and maybe Seth is part of it. So let me just say, Mr. Bruce's hope needs to be to, at some point, get in something like h4, hg, hg, rook h8. And there's also hope to open another line on the queen side. So, for example, instead of rook d8, b5 would have been a plausible way for black to play. Just to gain some space, maybe open the lines. White's the one who's shifting back and forth. It's therefore a little bit unpleasant. Rook e1's weird, but rook d8, as far as I could tell, didn't have a clear intention, right? So plausible moves here for black would be b5 or rook h8. I like rook h8 now. I'd like b5 too. Now I haven't responded to you, Curry, because I can't pronounce your name, but now I'm going to go for it. Curry Bodalala says, can I suggest 0.00 positions that are imbalanced to play? We have many of those on the training positions. Some positions we say you have the advantage and you're playing it as a match against somebody, and in order to get the check mark in the ChessDojo Training Program, you have to win X amount of times, for example, right? And again, you have to play somebody at your level, which is a key difference. But yeah, we have some imbalanced positions. And a lot of the positions, by the way, you get them, and just like these guys, you don't necessarily know what the evaluation is, right? And that's why in a lot of Endgame Senseis, we have a poll, just kind of asking what people think, and I'll usually ask them, what's your gut tell you about the position? I don't understand rook e1. I don't know if it matters too much. Kostya's got loads of time. Now, Bruce, yeah, he needs to be thinking b5 or rook h8. Now, one move that Kostya could have done, maybe he has some dark intention with rook e1 that I don't understand, but it could have been h3 and hanging the idea of g4 over black's head. In general, the pawns need to go to the light color squares. One reason I like b5 is white playing c4 would not be a dumb idea here if it were white to move. Yeah, b5's nice, and then maybe then you got to just get the kinetic energy of the pawns going on the queen side. Then white has to think about, maybe I'll play a5, maybe I'll play c5, maybe I'll tack back to rook h8. You have no idea. That one of the things actually about playing h3 instead of rook e1 is you at least have an idea that black has to contend with, whereas now black should, I think, just be improving his position with something like b5. Yeah. Uzziah says, not sure rook h8 would occur to me. It's a pretty natural move, though, right? We're threatening h4 and then trying to aim for coming down on the h file. Now, okay, h4 immediately. Let me say, the reason I intuitively was not a huge friend of this was precisely gh. Maybe this is not so dumb. Maybe we can play rook h8 now. But by the way, there was no rush to play h4. So, like, yeah, if we're gonna play rook h8 now, we could have played it, in advance of playing h4 anyway, right? Okay. Kostya snipped that pawn pretty quickly, honestly. He could have also thought about g4. I'm starting to think this is a little bit unpleasant for a peasant, and the rook on e1 is very poorly placed for this business here. So imagine bishop f2. I take on h4, and it's, how do you defend h2, boss? Not so easy. Oh, Kostya, man, what have you done? Yep, Kostya's blown it again. He's blown it again. All right. right. That's the active move. We're assuming rook h4. Maybe you can, I don't know what you're doing, honestly. Rook h4, you're going to have to play rook g2. I don't, and I'm maybe you could play rook g6, but I think you're just helping the guy because then Proust can play king b5. Nizai is talking about Kostya playing quickly, and one thing that I'm going to do a video on, I'm really pumped to do, is I really went deep into the Thinking Fast and Slow by Kahneman, and one thing that research shows is that it's harder, much harder to think when you are exhausted. And I can tell you right now, I'm exhausted. I did like 4 hours of streaming this morning. I didn't sleep well last night. We just had a dojo talks. You know, the tank is empty. And when the tank's empty and your system 2 is depleted, system 2 being like when you're actually going to calculate something in a chess game, you are more likely to make impulsive decisions, right? Like just ripping off GH, for example, and then sticking your bishop on G1 as if that was where it wanted to be. Okay, now it is true that this forces Mr. Proust to at least try to crack him, try to find a way to crack him. So F4 is a weird thought, but a thought. White might be intending rook g3, but honestly, rook g3 doesn't do anything. I can just move the rook back. It's fine. So black needs a way to intensify the pressure. One of the great things about black here is he just has, there's no counterplay for white that I can see. King d5. Totally plausible move, dude. King d5, why not? Because if you play rook g7, I'm assuming bishop d6. Maybe, okay, let's think about it. It is concrete. Now, Kostya's got a lot of time, man. He's playing like one of those chumps he criticizes in his videos. He's like, use your time, boss. Use your time. Hey, Kostya, practice what you preach, buddy. No, in all seriousness, I think he's exhausted. When you're exhausted, you're going to play, difficult moves quickly. Mr. Proust is tanking. Good. Now, how are we going to do this? I'm not hosting today, so I'm going to flip the board though for myself, just look at from black's perspective. You guys are already, no, you don't have black's perspective. So king d5, rook g7, bishop d6, rook g5, and I don't have any great moves. Actually, in that position, I could play f4, and that would be unpleasant. That would definitely be unpleasant. The king d5 in itself isn't that big of a deal. Maybe it isn't. b5, of course. Very playable. And b5 takes on new urgency because we're going to want to prevent the king. Like at some point, we might have to play f4, and then we need to prevent king d3, e4, and then we're going to want our king on d5, and we don't want to get popped by c4. All right, bishop d6. Fine. With rook g6, he would be transposing to the thing I just talked about with king d5 on the first move. And if rook g3, I'm assuming rook h6 is the intention. Notice there's no way for black to, or excuse me, for white to not be passive with the pawn. Now, maybe Kostya had the mistaken thought that a lot of players do. They're like, oh, dude, I got a pass pawn. I'm cool. That pass pawn is a victim, my friend. That thing is a victim. And your pawns are split, and it's not a good thing that they're split. Now, I do think a very plausible move for white here would be c4. All right, doesn't happen. King d5. c4 just to keep control, put the pawns in the right color, all that. Now this king f7, well, that's probably okay. And now I'm assuming rook h6. I could go actually a couple different places. Yeah, rook h6, and that way we bring the king back to e6. h4, fine. I like h4. We really want to prevent c4. And b5, this is very unpleasant. Very unpleasant. So the advantage of king f7 over d5 is precisely now on a move like rook g5. If I need to, I can play like black does, king f6. Thank you very much. All right, coach, just sit. Now, b5, boss. Play b5, boss. You know you want it. You know you want it. Play b5. Ooh, that's a nasty move. Oh, Mr. Bruce. Why do you do this to me, Bruce? That's a stinker. That's a real stink job right there, man. Ooh. What are you doing, boss? Now the king is perfectly blockading the pawn. He just lost. He didn't lose the game. He lost his advantage. What a stink job. A stink job. I'm a really nice guy, huh? What a stink job. Now, he's got multiple good moves. C4 comes immediately to mind. Black's not threatening anything with his E4 thing. I think that's a great example. He didn't realize he could, it doesn't have to do anything concrete, you know, intensify the position with B5. Also, E4, you cut your own rook. You cut your own rook, boss. What are you doing? Your rook had that beautiful rank. Oh, buddy. And B5 also just building. Korchnoi in his probably the most difficult chess book of all time. Maybe we should put it in the 2500 group. Is the Korchnoi Rook Endgame book, Practical Rook Endgames, and he talks about the kinetic energy of the pawns. It's a very simple and brutalistic idea. The closer you are to the other side of the board, the more chances you're going to have, you know, to make a queenie weenie. And so B5 does a lot of things. This is just terrible though, and they're going to play it on. They're just going to go on and on and on here, and I'm going to have to watch it. Yeah, put your pawn in front of his king. That's right. Did David end up pulling out that position with his bishop stuck in the corner? Yeah, Kostya's blowing it, man. He's not going to become an endgame. He's not going to become a GM if he's going to be playing endgames like this, my friend. Bruce is thinking up the dojo here, though, man. E4. What a stinker. What a true stinker. Now, this is probably playable. Let's see, though. In order to do it, though, Kostya, you need to have a concrete idea for when I move my king. Maybe you do. What is your intention here, boss? Please, don't just go, oh, gosh. Oh. And again, for Kostya, he doesn't understand that C4 would be an improvement to his position. Instead, he's just like, oh, I'm going to sit. You know, maybe I'll just sit a little bit. I like sitting. Sitting's fun. Boss, you're killing me, man. What are you doing, man? Now, should white be totally fine? Yes, he should. But he's created some dangerous momentitos for himself here. One simple problem for black is there's no way to really create a threat. If you imagine the rook going to d7, at that point, I can easily play bishop e3, i.e. the rook is kind of, the black rook is tied to the h2 pawn, tying the bishop down. So, oh, Kostya, can you play c4 or something, man? Something to make the dojo proud? These dudes, man, they're just like, Korchnoi kinetic energy cry. What are you talking about, buddy? Huh? Get your GM title out of a Cracker Jack box. Isn't rook g4 a threat? Why would rook g4 be a threat? In that case, first of all, that endgame, even if you lost the pawn, I'm not sure it's a big thing. It's maybe in his mind a threat. So I think even though I don't think it's an actual threat, it is true. Okay, it is true that he is going to have it in his head that that's a threat. And maybe it's a little unpleasant. Okay, so let's at least give Bruce the credit that bishop f4 creates a thought, right? Creates a thought. Now, bishop h2 certainly looks like a clear advantage to black. There it comes. Well, coast to coast, buddy. Yeah, I don't know, man. This looks a little bit unpleasant for a peasant. Bishop f2. Okay, now, is white lost? No, it's just unpleasant. So rook h3 comes to mind. Rook h3 comes to mind. Always control or fight for the blockade square, which is e3. Now, chess lover, I think MD Knight did at least identify what the intention was for Bruce. Bruce was kind of out ideas at that point. After you play e4, boss, hey, you're going to run out of ideas. But I guess that was his hope, was that rook g4 would be at least unpleasant for what am I saying? for white. Maybe it was too. Maybe it was a little bit unpleasant. I think yeah, it's an interesting position. Okay, so Bruce, play rook h3, boss. Kostya's got to stop being passive, man. Passivus. Now, rook h3, actually, let's just say there is a question mark with rook h3, namely rook f8, and then if king e6, rook e8, and there might be some questions, actually. So maybe I have to make a Jadoop on that one. No, that's fine. Yeah, rook h3. And then, honestly, white needs to play c4. White needs to play c4. Rook g4. Now, one of the interesting questions about this, where I would be hesitant with rook g4, is I'm not certain that the endgame with the bishops is winning. My instinct is that probably not winning. But okay, rook g4. Rook g4, maybe you're harassing him with thoughts of rook g2. That's a little bit unpleasant to deal with. But bishop d6, boss, what's happening on bishop d6? Bishop d6, look, man, Kostya, man, his system 2 is depleted, boss. His system 2 is gone. Kostya coast, buddy. Bishop d6. Oh no. They're stinking. Ghost is stinking up the dojo today, man. I'm gonna look at his cam. He betrays no emotion. Slytherin. Slytherin. That kid is Slytherin. Resign. I gotta go soon. I gotta go. I'm gonna write him. Resign, I gotta go. I'm gonna say the Discord. Resign, I gotta go. All right, you guys. I actually have to run. They understand that I'm gonna leave this thing. Oh man, they can analyze it if they want. If they want to do that to themselves. All right. Bye, everybody.
I think Jesse just ran up. I think he just walked out the door. In which case, you could have played a few more moves. Because
Yeah,
he's not here anyway.
I thought you said resign so we could talk about it.
He just wanted to see you resign or something.
Oh, GG's.
I don't know what that's about. Sorry. But Jesse's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, big surprise. He said we're stinking up the dojo. Yeah. I think I played so badly that first game it was disorienting, right, Kostya?
Yeah, I was bummed to have messed it up. But I wasn't sure exactly how to convert it.
Yeah.
We can look at it if you have time.
Yeah, I've got like 10 minutes or so.
Oh, okay.
So we can look at them a little bit.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty close. Let me make an analysis board.
Yeah. The second game is more like the traditional course of the game, right? Like G3, bishop E3 for white.
Yeah. I'm just using Jesse's board.
Okay. Is it this one here?
Yeah, can you see?
I just played F5. Is that?
Oh no, different one.
No, we're on a different board. Okay, show me something. Oh, F4, I see it. Okay. Yeah, keep going.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was so terrified of like the G3 bishop E3, and I think I'm sure Jesse let me have it for this, that I tried to come up with some unusual solution.
Yeah.
Instead of just grinning and bearing it.
Right. Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know, it looked good for black.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh, let me give you one suggestion, Kostya.
Yeah.
Or I mean, not a suggestion, one question that I had. As I was playing, right here, I was like, wait a minute. What if Kostya plays F3 here?
F3, huh? Yeah, I didn't really consider it.
I guess I slowly play King G1 to H2 to G3. It just, it did mildly terrify me, this thought.
Okay, well, let's see. So F3. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, here's a potential problem for me, right? So like I go here. Now you could try this, right?
Yep.
I can't take it because of back rank, even if I trade, right? And then on H4, what if you did this?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. It looks pretty good. Yeah, I don't know. I thought about E4 here, but then I thought you just trade rooks, take on E4.
Mm-hmm.
Rook E8. Yeah, F3 is pretty good.
Yeah. I don't have a good advice for white after this.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe it was pretty simple. I don't know. So someone is saying Jesse didn't like Rook D6. Yeah, that's interesting because I wasn't sure myself.
I was expecting you to play rook d6 at that point, and I thought it was good.
But I could also go king f5 and then like.
Yeah.
I thought.
And then rook d6 next move, right?
Yeah. Like I didn't really see what white's next move is exactly.
Yeah, probably like this while sitting around.
Mm-hmm. Then I can even go c6 maybe. Put the rook on d5.
You want to play rook d5 instead? I think once you've played cd, you'll be able to play d5. This might be, now you're giving me the option of c4 here. What do you like about that option?
Well, I like that it opens up the diagonal.
Okay.
So
I think if you do the rook trade on d6, you'll be able to get d5 as well. I mean, even in the game, I feel like
5.
You could have done it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this is still good. We could try rook d6 as well. Yeah. Or b5 first, I think.
Right, or b5 first. If I'm not doing anything, maybe why not b5? I didn't think of that, but it makes sense.
Yeah. You can still go b3.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, I mean, I have a lot more. If you take and go c4, kind of getting the b file first. And
yeah, to the b file. Let's forget about c4 and d5 and just take the file. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, should be good. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think I can play c4 there. I think that's straight up lost after rook b8.
Yeah. Yeah, I should have just played a bit slower, I guess.
Since I'm not really doing anything, I guess. Yeah, I think actually in the game I expected king f5 h4 rook d6. That was like what I was thinking in the game. So, I mean, your rook d6 didn't surprise me, but I suppose there's no reason not to play, or few reasons not to play king f5 first.
Well, yeah, I mean, let you play king d3 and then it wasn't
Yeah, okay, so take back king f5 now. What if you play d5 here anyway?
Yeah, then I thought c4.
And then take it. Mm-hmm. Surprise.
I thought
you
about
get
this,
the file.
But yeah, I wasn't exactly sure how good my winning chances are here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, rook e2, sort of holding the weaknesses for the moment. And then if I ever release the rook with like rook c1, I mean, release the bishop, you do have bishop f8, but okay. Let's say that rook f1 is a big threat.
Yeah. Here.
Trade.
Okay, yeah, this should be pretty good, I think, for black. So maybe no trade then.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems pretty close. So right, I couldn't really decide. I thought this looked nice, and then
what you did also looked nice, right? So,
yeah.
But
yeah.
b5, this just doesn't work, I don't think, actually.
I mean,
when I take the c file, this was like the first point in the game where I didn't think I was losing. Now, I wasn't sure that I wasn't losing. Like, I saw you can still like play this like rook e8, d5, e4. It looks scary, but I didn't see a line that loses. I was just scared of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't really see anything super clear.
You can play b4 here.
Yeah.
And I would probably play rook c7. King g6. And now And now it's white has to attack the d pawn here with the rook.
Yeah.
So rook c6, I guess. And now it's going to get concrete, right? Because you can't just play rook d8, king c4, or king d5, right? You have to go like rook c6, rook a2, and all hell breaks loose.
Yeah, no, I felt like if I have to play like king g6, then yeah, I didn't really love my chances anymore. I don't know. It felt like I should have a confused. I didn't have a way to like just break through in the center.
Chat
yeah,
is saying
maybe
d5, walking into rook c5, and then king e6 might be the way. Now this, I'm going to need some clarification on. Niz.
Yeah. No, I thought about this in the game as well. I just didn't understand how I'm going to get e4 in anyway. I thought about it with rook e8 included. Like this was one of the ideas to go here.
Right here, you can come back and defend that pawn too. I take on b5
takes, and then here. So I'm trying to. So this is the idea with rook e8 because I wanted this.
Yeah.
But then I thought rook b4 anyway, and like king c5 a3, and then yeah, I couldn't quite.
Well, there's one
figure this out. But there is like even e4 and f3, right? Like
yeah, there is e4 and f3 here. And now I guess the saving move for white is g6. But that was a close call.
yeah, it looks good. So,
you can do this without the king on c5 too. Like in this position right here after rook b5.
Rook b4, yeah.
Like, okay, rook b5. What happens if you just push here? Takes in here. Giving up this pawn with check. Oh, maybe rook d5 to f5. I was thinking like, you know, you give up this pawn with check, but then you move your king and cut off the rook. I mean, you're all in on queening, but you might queen.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about stuff like this. Rook b7.
Yeah, that's hard to imagine that it's gonna work, huh?
Yeah, it feels like everything has to be just right, and I think
yeah, it has to be like a miracle combination, I guess. Okay, but it's, you know, it's floating in the air, this e4 at any point. The other option that white has when you play e4 is to just play king e2, and white won't always be dead in that position either.
Yeah, but okay, then I think I would be unhappy with that. It's like e4, king e2, like rook c8. Yeah, so no, I mean takes and rook c1 I thought was very strong because I thought you were gonna go like b3. But yeah, I don't know. Somehow I still felt like black should have something here. I don't know what it is though.
Yeah.
Maybe
I don't know either. It's definitely like hard to find at this point. Now it's like the difficulty level just went up a lot here.
Yeah.
I mean, just looking at this, I have no idea what the evaluation is or who has the advantage. This just looks random to me.
Yeah.
Do you still have a strong instinct seeing this position, or?
I thought black should have a solution, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I just feel so close, like d5 e4, and that's like that's it. But d5 rook c5 is very of course a good resource.
Yeah, when you played rook e8, I mean, I wanted to play like a3 or h4 and then d5 rook c5. I figured your next move was d5.
Yeah.
I think I hesitated a while here because, you know, a3 would be definitely useful, and h4 is useful in some cases.
Mm.
But then I thought you might also just play e4, pawn takes e4, rook takes e4 if I sit around.
That's what. Yeah, I mean that's what I did in the game essentially.
That's not like your dream scenario, right? But you could do this because it still has the favorable bishop. It comes to e5 past f pawn.
No, I thought this would be great. Yeah, rook e3, rook h3, like.
Okay, so I pressed matters. You know, I
Yeah.
prevented e4, I think, because of rook f7, sort of. And like basically lost a tempo on the d5 line, but forced us to go down that road.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll have to analyze this one. And then the second game, I thought you played well. Maybe I didn't have to give the pawn at the end, but it was already starting to feel very unpleasant.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
But that game, like from your perspective, there was some kind of pressure.
Yeah, no, I thought you played very well because I mean, yeah, I don't think I made any obvious blunders. Except maybe at the end, like I didn't have to give the pawn, but I don't know.
But even that, you chose to do it, right? Versus sitting and waiting.
Well, because I thought it's still very hard to find the move for white. Because I don't want to like move the queen side, and I have to go like king f1 or something.
Yeah. At the end of it, I thought I'd come up with actually maybe a winning plan if you sat still. So if that's the case, then there's no harm in what you tried. But I had the winning plan I had in mind was rook h3, and then switch the rook to d3, threatening rook d2, and sort of force you to back up king e1 at some point, right? And then play e3, king e4. And your bishop's like just trapped on g1. And you can throw the h pawn once I do that to get your bishop out through h2 and to maybe have like a counterplay. But I'm so like black's so deep there, right? Like pawn on e3, king on e4, maybe even f3, rook d2. Then my sense is probably a winning plan.
Yeah, no, I mean this looks very annoying for sure. Even rook h3 and e3 right away, also.
Without switching to the d file.
Was a problem. Yeah, just trying to get the king to e4. Yeah, actually, I was thinking maybe what I should have tried was
If I did it that way, I thought you might be able to play king d3.
Yeah, maybe. Oh yeah, maybe I should have gone rook g7 instead of rook g8. I wasn't actually totally sure about this. Maybe it was a better try.
And then are you thinking to maybe trade on h2?
Yeah, like if black takes, I'll take and go king e3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't quite see how black wins here, but
yeah, that sounds plausible. Yeah, I mean, maybe on rook g7, we could make it a moot point if black plays bishop e5. So you have to go back to g2, and then black can play rook h3, and maybe b5 to strengthen the position as well before going forward. But it's true. I mean, it's concrete. It depends on at what moment you can try what. Whether you can get out with rook g7 or rook g8 at the right time. After the trade, it looks like you might be drawing the rook endgame.
Yeah, so maybe this was the best chance.
But I mean, rook g7, b5. What are you doing there? If I wait to take.
Oh, sorry, without trading. Yeah, b5. Yeah. Yeah, still feels really, really difficult.
With the pawn on b5, that same rook endgame might not be a draw, because I might be able to take on h2, you trade pieces, I take b2, you take c7, I take a2, and that might not be a draw.
You still have Rxd8 check there, but
yeah.
But you don't have to take on h2 right away. You can even go like.
I also still don't have to take. Yeah.
Keep. Yeah, it just feels hard to find reasonable moves here for white. But okay, I mean, I think that's normal. I feel like the endgame is quite unpleasant.
It should be hard, right? I mean.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, here was like the biggest question I had in the endgame was when I played h4, whether you should play g4 in response.
Oh.
That's my biggest sort of strategic question.
So g4 takes h3.
Yeah, I was actually thinking h3 without trading.
Without trading.
But I mean, obviously, you have to check it both ways.
Yeah. Without trading, then maybe white takes on f5, goes rook g1.
Mm-hmm. The thing is, if I do trade, you have king f3. So either way, you'll have something. So
yeah.
So trade, rook to g1. And now it's an open question if I have anything, but I guess the idea basically here is to go rook h8, bishop d6, and then e4. Right? And it'll be really stupid if you can even just go rook g4 and there's no progress.
Rook g4, maybe just putting the bishop on g3, like bishop f2. Bishop g3. I think white should be safe.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you on it. And if I trade and go h3, then I was afraid of king f3. Bishop d6.
Bishop d6 maybe, yeah. Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to touch this h-pawn, because h8.
Maybe here's a crazy idea. Bishop h6. What's that, Chloe? Yeah.
Bishop h6 are trying to...
I'm trying to cut off the pawn with g5. And then...
Trap your bishop.
Trap the bishop back on h6 again.
But bishop h6, rook h8, g5, king f5, right?
Mm-hmm. King g3.
G3. Yeah, this still quite unclear. I would be scared though as white. Let's say e4 takes bishop f4 and then like rook d8 next.
But I played rook f1.
Rook f1, sure.
And now you better watch out.
Yeah. Maybe E3.
Uh-huh. It's messy, right? Hard to say.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. But could be super dangerous.
Yeah. Certainly could be, yeah. That's kind of like the biggest question I had about that game was G4. That's why I hesitated a long time before playing H4. And once you took it, I thought I have some good chances.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think you're just clearly better there at that point. But yeah, I just felt like I didn't want to allow the pawn to H3.
Mm-hmm.
Or if I go Rook G1, I mean, you can go Rook G8. Like, I'm just kind of sitting. It's very hard.
Oh, right. Like you don't have to play G4 or G8, right? If you just leave it on G3 and play Bishop F2, Rook G1 and tuck.
Yeah. That was an option as well, but
yeah.
it's tough.